Hi everybody. So today, as I promised last week, when I was doing the tour of our current farm, I promised that this week I'll talk about the structures in our farm and how we actually did them. So yeah, I'll take you through bits and pieces of how we did them from scratch and the modifications we have done over time and why we have done them. So, welcome. If this is the kind of content you're looking for or you enjoy, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more and more of this. And if you like the video, make sure you give me a very big thumbs up. I'll really appreciate it. So, let's go and see how we did the structures. So, when we began the farm, um, we started with a bigger portion of it being a chicken coop and only one part. There were 4 rooms, but one of the parts was for dairy goats. And over time, we now have actually three rooms for goats, and one room for the chicken, and one as a storage place. So initially, this room over here was meant to be a chicken room, a chicken house, but the way we had designed it was not really functional for chicken because it didn't have any kind of ventilation. It just had one small door, which was on this side of the wall, and it was just a place where chicken was supposed to sleep, but even the floor was not done for chicken, and that's why we had to transform it later.
Ushapu, sisi hapa tunafanya construction in chicken house. We want to keep some kienyeji chicken there, so we have already some 10 kienyeji improved chicken. One has already been eaten by my cheeky dogs. Now there are 9, but this we're trying to do a much more standard chicken structure there. At least this can hold about 200 chicken. Yep. Then the other side, we are doing a shelter also for the dairy goats. Trusting God that soon some dairy goats will come in here. Yeah, so come and check out what we're doing here. This is the farm side. Once you enter the green gate, the farm side. Now it's looking like a junkyard. Soon when you come back, you'll find it. So this is a chicken strip. This is a quick getting here. And we'll install a door there. So here we leveled it up with some human, and then the chicken feeders here, and the water, also the watering cans here. They're not called watering cans, they're called, okay, this thing for giving water. Drinkers. Kitu kama hiyo. But then here now, they'll be spending the night. So it's quite roomy. It's a very high roof, which actually can still make 2 houses, but now we'll just use it the way it is. There, if it doesn't need the rises, we will see what to do with it. But so far, this is what we're doing.
About this area?
This is still the filling for the chicken. And now, from that other cube, very good. Okay. So, so when you come back, you'll see totally a different thing. It will not be looking like a junkyard. Okay, very good.
Later we transformed it because of the kind of wood we had. This wood doesn't work well, so we made our structures a bit high from the ground, just to enable the goat droppings to go down and to be harvested easily. So when it's time to harvest, we open up this space and just pull out the droppings. It's similar for the chicken coop as well. This one we currently use as a storage room for food, but before it was a chicken coop. You can see how we used wire mesh down there, and the chicken mesh. Yeah, this enables the droppings to actually go down very easily. We actually reused a lot of our materials. We had just moved one of our workplaces, actually one of our offices, and so we had a lot of material to spare, the ones that had been used to make up that place. And so that is what we used a lot. For example, the plywood, we reused a lot of the plywood. You can even see that some of it is painted, like the one behind me. The mesh we used, because we had used it elsewhere in another structure when we were doing farming before. The unfortunate thing is that most of it had rusted, and so it has created a lot of holes in the chicken coop, which we have had to, to deal with. Yeah, to deal with. This is what I'm talking about. So even for the iron sheets, we bought a few new materials, but used a lot of what we had at hand, just to make it, to make the whole process at least more affordable. Yeah, so that's what we did. And over time, we have been modifying these rooms. I think the most important thing is to start if someone has the idea, because if you strive to be perfect the first time, you might never start. So what I've learned from Mr. Farmer is that you just need to start. And if you need to make changes, you can just make changes along the way. If one waits for too long, you might never do what you need to do. So yeah, that's what we did. We just started. We have modified these structures about 4, and we are still going on to modify some of the rooms, just to make them more efficient, more functional. For example, as I told you, our first chicken coop was not, I think we should have done our research better on that. It wasn't functional for chicken, and so we transformed it to be a goat's pen, and we made better chicken houses. Actually, before, these chicken rooms were not raised. The chicken were just walking on the ground, and because of the kind of chicken farming we are doing, they kept on getting diseases, getting infected, probably because they were in the same space where their poo was, and they kept on interacting with it. And so later on, when we raised the structure, you can see now it's a bit more raised. The rate of the death of chicken due to infections actually went really down. I'll definitely say it's a good thing to raise the chicken coop, just to protect them from too many infections. So another thing we did the first time that didn't work out so well, and we have had to live with it, was that we made this structure a bit too low. So we keep getting heat on our heads. You can see. This is the goat's pen, and I actually have to bend when I'm in it. Yeah, so we keep on getting hit by this timber, which is something that is not very easy to change. But if we were to redo it, we'd make them up just a little bit taller than this, a little bit higher. So currently this is the milking place. So initially we didn't have it like this, and we would milk the only one goat we had, that was Jasmine one, in her room. Her room was this one, where Mama Ellie currently is right now, this room. So we'd actually go inside this room and milk her from right here, which was not easy. It was quite restrictive and not comfortable even for the person milking. Jasmine 1 was also a handful, so we had to find out a better way to start, to milk the goats. And so we decided to to make a shed where we could milk, which has a stanchion. And so we modified this place. Actually, this place was open. It didn't have a roof before. This was that time we were modifying, so we enclosed this whole space so that it becomes like a room and a storage. And then the second time we were doing modifications, we made this stanchion. So when we are milking, we just put some feeds here, and the goat comes in, and we lock this place just like this. And so milking is no longer difficult. This one should enter here. Milking is quite easy right now because their head is restricted on this side, and we tie their legs on this side, and so it's quite easy right now to milk. So the person milking actually sits over here actually and milks quite easily. We also modified this room to be a kind of a store where we can store some of the goat feeds and also some of the medication, as you can see, the salts and other things that we use for the goats. We've had to put these here just to to be sort of an insulator against wind, a windbreaker, because we didn't initially expect to use this room for some goats to stay here, but we have had to use it for the younger goats, as the goats can't, sometimes they can't stay together, like so many of them, they keep fighting and all that. And so when the kid came, we just had to use this room for him throughout. But soon we are developing some more structures, and he'll be out of here into his own room. As you can see, there is a door at the end of this milking place that enters into the next room. Okay. So here it is. It opens up into this room where Nyameru and Blessing are. And then this room also opens up to another room where Mama Ellie is, but usually it's the male goat, the buck, who's here. But at the moment, because we want him to mate with Kadogo, that's why they are in the room where Mama Ellie stays usually. So when the buck came, he actually destroyed this door, and we had to make a whole new door just because of that. You can see I have to kind of bend my head all the time because this roof was made too low. I don't know if that's the right height, but it's an uncomfortable feel. If we do it again, we'll make it a bit higher. Mechanisms is to, because of the low roof, is to actually put these gloves over here, and so somehow they're always a reminder to me that I need to bend my head before I go in. Some of you might be wondering why we have these mtungis here. It's because the goats are quite, stubborn. So when one is being milked over here, the other one tries to grab the food if these are not here. So usually we have to fill them with water and then make them stand here just to act as a barrier between the goats. Initially we didn't have this polythene paper, but we had to do it because this roof also was made too short. It should have extended a bit further. So because of the rain, we had to do this so that the rain doesn't enter the chicken coop. Also had to extend this part of this goat house. We had to extend the roof a bit just to protect them from the sunshine and from the rain. We also had to to raise this trough. It was a bit low. That's when Jasmine 1 jumped out and was bitten by the dog. So we had to raise this one, and also to put this barrier over here to prevent any future incidences. You can see that we reused a lot of the material, as I had said, which came in handy. Extend this roof because before it was made just to reach here, so we had to extend it so that because when it rained, the rainwater used to go inside the house, so we had to extend it so that the rain could pour outside the house, and soon hopefully we'll be able to harvest that water. For the rabbit house, we did a very simple structure which we hope to improve at some point when we'll add more rabbits. This one of course can still keep still some rabbits, but for their safety and to be able to collect urine, we'd like to do it a bit better. So this is the structure from the back side. We chose to do these structures facing away from the direction in which the wind often blows, to protect the animals from catching pneumonia or such infections due to cold. Also for privacy purposes. We put these blocks here and this ladder because of the dogs, because they like to enter down here and harass the goats. There's egg. It's a milking place. This window was supposed to be here to pass milk to the person outside, just to make work easier instead of going round, because initially this place was not closed off, but we had to close it off. So you see, the room had reached here, and then we had to add this wood just to add another room. Initially, this room was not like this. It didn't have this wood, but when we got the first male goat, this one wants to come out. You can see how we've put wood all around. Initially it was only iron sheets. She's on heat. So when the first buck came, it almost destroyed the iron sheets because it was hitting them so hard. And so we decided that we needed to have this wood just to protect the iron sheets from further damage. in the future. We actually thought Kadogo was expectant, but to our shock, she's still on heat. I don't know if that is possible and she's pregnant. I don't think so. So let's hope this time the goal will be scored. So that's it, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Just having a look at the structures we made and the modifications we've had to make along the way, and I hope you've enjoyed yourself. If you have, be sure to give this video a big like, because it will help this video be able to be exposed to more people and to the growth of this channel. Thank you so much for staying with me up to this point. I'll see you next time. Bye.